Okay, we've just seen the Sevens complete here in Wellington. Big success for New Zealand, not conceded a single point in the last day. That's an amazing achievement. But I just got the feeling that in town here, the gloss has gone a little bit from that tournament.
Of course, you would say it, I suppose, this year because it rained both days, so that's not a good start. But the Sevens wasn't sold out for the first time this year. It's usually totally a hot ticket item. There's the Nines in Auckland, the League Nines, which has been very hyped up and has become a major opposition to it. People deciding, I'll save my money and go up to Auckland and watch Sonny Bill play in the Nines instead of coming down and watching the Sevens. And the other thing that's happened is there's this definite and undeniable drinking culture around the Sevens in Wellington, which I know the IRB are concerned about. Record number of arrests this year. So there are a lot of problems for those Sevens now, and maybe it's just going over old ground a bit.
I think a saving grace might be Olympic year when the big names will have to play in preparation. Sonny Bill might be in Wellington. That could change the crowd numbers.
Yeah, and that'd be great. But looking longer term, I don't know. I talked to Keith Quinn a bit about this, and he travels around on the Sevens circuit, and he said it used to be the best tournament in the world, the Sevens in Wellington, and he said it wouldn't be in the top 3 or 4 now, and it's slipping down. So maybe it needs someone to come in with a fresh outlook and give this some thought and try to tart it up a bit.
Maybe move cities for a few years, come back to Wellington just to give you a different base, because we're small cities in New Zealand to keep an event of this nature going.
Yeah, they'd be crying in Wellington if that happened. I mean, I think it's propping up the stadium finances, but maybe you're right. Maybe Christchurch or Dunedin would be suitable. Wellington's had a great go. It's been very successful, but if you can't sell all the tickets and people are starting to wonder about it, maybe it's time to look around.
I'll be the first to admit I'm surprised about the success of the NRL Nines, whatever they're called. It's a new format. It's not even an established format. They pulled in some big names to make it attractive. They've sold 90,000 tickets plus. Yeah,
there were several things. I think that some of that success comes off the back of Sevens rugby. People think, oh, okay, it'll be like that, and that's pretty entertaining. A lot of movement. So that's good. And also, it's been a great party atmosphere in Wellington for 15 years. So if it's like that, I want to be involved in it. That's another thing. Then there's the novelty value. It's had tremendous publicity. Oh, a lot of money being spent marketing it. Vast amounts. And as you say, they've ensured that a lot of big names are there. So they've got good crowds this first year. Is it a one-off, or would they get those crowds every year? Would they get those crowds without quite that much marketing or without that many big names? Hard to know.
They've generated a lot of prize money too. I understand the winner wins more than if they win the NRL. So that makes the club serious about participating.
Yeah, which is probably why you're getting all these big players here.
Right, so Shea, the Winter Olympics have started. You're not there this time. You've been to a few of those. Level of interest for you?
Not that high for me. I mean, I just watch it as a sort of an interested television spectator, no more than that. I mean, there's a couple of things about that. First of all, there's no superstar New Zealand athletes that you follow, so that's one thing. And the second thing is, this is just me, I'm not as familiar with those sports as I am with rugby or cricket or golf or tennis. They're more traditional sports that I've followed, so I'm watching them more as a curiosity without having the good, deep background knowledge. So it's a hard sell, I think, in New Zealand.
I think some of the well-known events, maybe the ice skating, some of the slaloms, there's new events, or new to us perhaps, that are hard to appreciate where the scoring comes from, what's good, what's bad.
Yeah, but it's amazing when you're there. I mean, it's definitely more uninhibited than the Summer Olympics. I mean,
even this time round in Russia with the 2,000 security guards?
Yeah, the competitors are, I mean, the freestyle events and that sort of stuff, they really go for it. I mean, it's amazing, some of those snowboarding or something, freestyle skiing and stuff. It's amazing what's going on, but yeah, you just have to, I mean, I wouldn't know who the stars of the event are or who have been the stars in the last 30 years, so I don't watch the event with that knowledge, which I do have for the more traditional summer sports. So it's just hard to really get into it more than just watching it on the day as a spectacle.
Actually, on TV is probably the best. What's it like at a Winter Olympics? Can the spectators get close to a lot of these events, or journalists? It must be horrendous to try and cover.
Well, the hardest thing was you're staying in a village somewhere, and you got to put about 11 layers of clothing on, and then catch 3 buses going at 30 kilometres an hour for 4 hours to get to wherever you're going. I mean, it wasn't. I'd get home after midnight every night from all the travel. It was incredibly time-consuming. And yeah, you're right. I mean, you're watching skiing or snowboarding and you're quite a long way from the action and you have the best view of all. The spectators are worse. I did enjoy it though. I mean, I love the curling. That was great. It was great. And ice hockey was amazing to watch live compared to on TV, because when you watch it live, you have no trouble at all following the puck, which is a big thing.
And it's a big political statement, obviously, for Russia, trying to, obviously, you're on the world stage, maybe not to the degree of the Summer Olympics, but still an important event.
Yeah, it is, and it hasn't all been good publicity for them. I do think there's quite a lot of the Western world hoping things will go wrong. I think they had one Olympic ring missing from their opening ceremony, and people seem to be loving that. So it's all a bit childish to me, and a bit political games being played both ways.
And what value if New Zealand pick up a medal of any kind, because it's so hard to come by? A bronze is a magnificent achievement, isn't it?
Totally. I mean, Annalisa Coburger was named Hellberg Winner of the Year for winning a silver medal. She was named that ahead of Barbara Kendall, who won a gold medal at the Summer Olympics. If we won any medal at the Winter Olympics, it would be phenomenal. Not that I expect that we will.
But one day you think it's possible, given the growth of winter sports here, we've got places for people to train. We're not Jamaican bobsledders, are we?
No. I mean, you think we're never going to do it, and then, like, I thought this about cycling once. I thought we're never going to go to a World Champs and be a factor. And we go over there most years now and look like we're going to win 2 or 3 or 4 medals. So we've become quite a cycling nation, and I don't see why in time that wouldn't happen to some degree with the Winter Olympics. Obviously, we don't have the money behind us that some of those major European winter nations have, but still, you'd think that we'd get pockets of areas where snowboarding would be one that comes to mind, where we would develop some expertise and be medal contenders.
And like cycling, they've got 2 velodromes now. Obviously, having that facilities, matching those overseas, you don't have to do all the travelling they used to have to do to just get the practice.
Yeah, you have to have the facilities, which has always been the big problem for New Zealand. They've got to raise tremendous amounts of money to get to the other side of the world to use facilities. If they're here at home, it makes all the difference.